with Mike Spiegelman. Watch a full-length movie on YouTube with Mike Spiegelman. Hi, this is Carl. I'm Mike's friend who wrote this song, you know. You should follow me on Twitter. It's 11 underscores. You know, I love going to restaurants downtown, turning your frown around, and like everybody, Paul's Countdown. Hey, I'm ready to crumba. Now let's watch a full-length movie. A-F-L-M-O-Y-T L-W-A-F-L-M-O-Y-T Let's watch a full-length movie on YouTube. Mike Spiegelman. Let's watch a full-length movie on YouTube. Mike Spiegelman. 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 Watch a full-length movie on YouTube. Michael Spiegelman.
Hello, welcome to LWAFLMOYT. Let's watch a full-length movie on YouTube with Mike Spiegelman and Carl. Hi, Carl. How are you, man?
Hey, Mike. Good to see you. Thank you for... I'm happy to be back here and ready to watch a great film together with you on YouTube.
Well, that is the premise of our acronym. We are a podcast. We are a live streaming. That is, if you're alive, you could stream this first on mutinyradio.fm, where we're on right now, as we are every Sunday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go ahead, type in mutinyradio.fm, check out the station, and on Sunday at 2 p.m. PST, go ahead and hit play. We're also a podcast, audio, LWAFLMOYT, that's our acronym, and most importantly, we have a YouTube channel. We want to watch a full-length movie with you. We are going to find a movie on YouTube, and we're going to watch it with the sound off. You're going to watch the movie with us, and you're going to listen to our podcast at the same time. Unless, of course, you're watching the video. Hello, we have a movie to present to you. That's really exciting, Carl. I'm really excited.
Agreed.
And don't forget, Mutiny Radio has a lot of great stuff. So when you go to mutinyradio.fm, not only you can figure out a way to channel that station, check out our archive, you can also donate. Hit the donate button or go to Venmo and donate money to @Mutiny Radio. Carl, what is the movie today?
Today we will watch Saturn 3 1980. Isn't that easy to put in the search engine of YouTube? Saturn, then the number 3,
Okay.
and then 1980.
And I spell out 1980.
No.
Okay.
It
All
is
right.
numerically right. You don't even need Roman numerals. It is 1980.
All right. Well,
190.
hey, gang. 43-year-old movie, Saturn 3 from 1980, is on YouTube, and we're going to watch it. So go ahead, type in Saturn 3, the number, and then, of course, 1980. And, Carl, who is hosting our movie?
Well, I just caught it here. I looked it up. It is video for you to see. Now, you'll only find one thing, so I'm not going to tell you the cool way they wrote for you to see. But because when you get there, that will be for you to see. I'm not telling you.
Very Prince-like. Okay, so Videos for You to See is hosting the movie we're going to be watching, Saturn 3. We want you to click the link. The movie's going to play. There's no ads. I didn't get an ad. So
No,
just hit
I
pause.
didn't get an ad.
And then move the timer back to 000. When you hear go, we want you to hit play with us, and we'll start the movie. That sounds complicated. Don't worry. We'll give you a couple minutes to get yourself set up because we have a special feature coming up. The go is going to be said by none other than a celebrity comedian. Carl not only produces the show, wrote this theme song, and syncs up the video. He's went out of his way to talk to a celebrity comedian. Carl, take it away.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Celebrity Countdown, this time with Nick Keena. Welcome, Nick.
Hi, everybody.
Now, this segment is usually titled Celebrity Comedian Countdown, but with you, it's just Celebrity Countdown because you, sir, make your living at music. This is almost unheard of. You don't have some day job. You're a music guy. Tell me how you fell into that. Was that your lifelong goal? Tell me how you arrived here.
It was never like, I wouldn't say it was a lifelong goal. For a long time, I wanted to be a Ghostbuster. And then, you got to grow up. I was like, okay, I guess I'll be a mechanic or something. I don't know. I had a bunch of crappy jobs when I was younger. But music's always been around. My father's a musician and all his brothers are musicians as well. So there was always music around the house, and I couldn't go a day without hearing at least 3 or 4 Led Zeppelin tunes in the background. My dad is a rabid Zeppelin fan, and that's something that we all kind of inherited through the years. We just all became Zepp fans. But I started going to his gigs when I was about 14 years old. He started letting me come to some of his gigs that were at like nicer places. He played some spots that were pretty rough that, he wouldn't, he was scared to go. They were paying him to be there though. So, but I would sit at the bar and I would drink root beer and I would kind of be like a third base coach. Mm-hmm. And he would look at me and I would tell him if like the guitar was too loud. I would go and like, give big giant hand gestures to tell him what needs to get fixed. And then he would walk up to the board and, just make those little minor adjustments. And that's the first time that first moment I was like, wow, this is a cool job. This is something that's fun. And then I started playing the bass because my father's a bass player. It's what we had in the house. So I started playing in bands and, working my way up to becoming a frontman. I was always like, I played harmonica, I'd sing some backup vocals, but I wasn't the frontman. And then slowly but surely, I just kind of became that frontman. And I started running open mic nights when I was 21. And it was just so much fun. It was such a blast just, because you get all different types of people that come in. Some people that are absolutely fantastic and they're looking for a gig. And then you get your weekend warrior type guys that, my kids all left the house and I can finally play the guitar again. Right. You get a lot of those fellas too. And they're great too. But like you meet all these really sweet people that all, share the same interest and the same love of music. It's music is in my opinion, it's the last real form of magic. Mm-hmm. Because special effects have ruined our eyes. Like we know
CGI.
Like we know that's CGI. It looks so good, but you know that's CGI. But you play a song, and you can absolutely transport someone to a different time and place, and a different feeling, and you can really make someone, feel something. Whether you're trying to or not. Whether you meant to. A few gigs ago, I did a song by Bob Dylan, "To Make You Feel My Love." It's a beautiful song. It's one of his most covered. And this really sweet couple, they were sitting at the table with their 2 kids, and they stood up and started dancing, slow dancing to this song. And then when they finished, the wife's got a tear coming down her face. And she said, "That's our wedding song."
Holy cow, that's great.
And next week's our anniversary. And I was like, oh, right. So I got to, and there was just this beautiful
magic.
Moment. I didn't know they were going to be there. I didn't know that. It's just this magical moment. And like in that moment, he grabs her hand and they stand up and they start dancing. I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. Yeah. That's really nice. I guess they like this song. And then they told me their whole life story. It was really, it was really nifty. So, and
now you mentioned the bass, right? And I know you're all about the guitar, but you're also playing this great mandolin. How did you fall into that?
It's called the bouzouki. It's a Greek. It's like a Greek mandolin. The technical term would be octave mandolin. It just has a longer neck, so it's got a lower resonance, and it's just got a really beautiful tone. And a friend of mine went to Greece in like 2000. I want to say 2005. She went to Greece and she had bought it for her then boyfriend. And then when she got back from Greece, they broke up. Long story short, and she gave it to me and the promise was he's never allowed to touch it again. And she gave it to me,
And you saw to it?
And I held up my end of the deal. But it's just such a, I don't know. I never actually learned to play a standard 6-string guitar. It's not something I learned to play. I started on bass, and then a little bit of slide guitar, then mandolin fell in my lap, and then the bouzouki fell in my lap. And the bouzouki was great because I've got kind of fat fingers, and getting in between the frets on a mandolin's a little tricky. The frets are very close together, but the bouzouki's got a longer neck and the frets are spread out a bit more. So it was like, this is built for me. Yeah. And it really was. I can't believe all the smoke on my face.
That's what happens when you smoke.
Yeah. Oh, I apologize to everyone on the West Coast. We still smoke over here. But
now, also, you have this looping. It's something that a lot of people are doing. Yeah, you do it with the mandolin, but it's not called a mandolin. It's a bouzouki. Yeah. You do. Yeah. So this technology fell in your lap, and you really take advantage of it.
Yeah. Well, during lockdown, it became more and more clear that I wasn't going to be having any gigs with my band anytime soon. So the thought of I'm going to have solo gigs, a lot of solo gigs in my future came to be like absolute fact. So I went out and bought this loop pedal, and they make this is a pretty neat one. I can hook a microphone up to it and get a little beat going, and build the song in the moment, which is a lot of fun. And there's a great musician. I've been a fan of his work for like almost 25 years. I've been following this guy's career. His name's Keller Williams, just like the real estate company, but this guy's way cooler. But he works with a loop pedal, and he was working with loop pedals back in the day. He was one of the first musicians I've ever became aware of that was a solo act working with loop pedals. And just one guy on stage would get the entire arena or entire auditorium or theater, wherever he was playing. Everybody's dancing, and it's just one guy up there.
Yeah,
it's really an amazing show. But I'm nowhere near his caliber. But I just started kind of playing with it and building songs and having fun with it, and just having fun with it. And that's the main point of what I do. Is if I'm not having fun up there, nobody is. Yeah. And the same could be said for all aspects of entertainers. Even if you're giving a Shakespeare soliloquy and you're pouring your heart out and you're crying in the moment, you better be having fun, or it's not going to
translate.
Exactly. So that's just the thing. Like I've had plenty of crappy jobs, but about a little over 10 years ago, I got laid off from my last real job, delivering car parts, and I got laid off because I got fired because I was always late because I had gigs every night. So when I got fired, I just was like, all right, well, screw it. I'm just gonna start playing more shows because I looked at it like I was making crappy money at this day job, and I knew if I just worked 5 nights a week and played 5 shows a week at least, that I could make as much, if not more, than what I was making.
It'll add up
at the car part shop, and it turned out I was right.
Yeah,
and instead of making like after taxes, I'm making like $104 a day.
Yeah,
working a 9-hour shift, I'm making at least $180, $200 for working for 3-4 hours. I mean, the math just the math sells the whole thing. Not to say everyone could do this, because I don't know.
No, but it takes a special individual, and that is you, my man. Now, the way we met each other was you're doing these music open mics. Now, it's always been my philosophy that, and Vin Vitale, our good friend together, was a part of this. It's always been my philosophy that, like, you go to a comedy open mic and that's okay and everything, but it is a sea of comedians. And I'm doing real gigs, at Scotty's every weekend. I'm going off to other places like Kentucky and Delaware. Got to be in front of real people. So the way to do that is go to a music open mic. None of them are comedians, So I want to thank you for allowing me and my friends to get up there. I really appreciate it. We're not doing music and you say it's fine.
I love it. It breaks up the show a little bit to have to pepper in a couple comics.
Yeah.
And I've always been a fan of comedy. I've gone to shows at Caroline's, and which I hear is closing.
Yes, it is closed.
That's a bummer. I saw Louis there a couple times when he in the late 90s. I snuck in, but that's I've always been a fan of stand-up comedy, and I've been to stand-up open mic nights, just as you know, as a patron,
Spectator. Audience.
I've watched comics bomb
Yes.
at an open mic in front of other comedians, and it's like
Yeah.
it's like that one drop of blood in the water, and all the sharks
They smell
just
it.
circle,
Mhm.
and it's funny to see, and like, and I know it's part of the process, and it's just the way comics work and the way comics think and react. I love it, but the way we react at my open mics, at music open mic nights, if a guy bombs, you don't boo, you don't make fun of him.
Yeah.
You just let him know. I mean, you'll get him next time. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
You'll get him next time, buddy. You know, it's my open mics, music open mics, inherently are more like, they're more like group therapy for musicians with a cash bar. That's the best way I can describe them. But you know, we just get together and we talk about music. We talk about our equipment. We're just big nerds. Everyone thinks musicians are cool. We're not cool. We're just giant nerds that happen to do something that chicks like.
Yeah. Now, I want to get to your podcast and plug that. Now, it's called You Good? That's what it's called. You Good? And now it's YA.
Yep.
Good question mark. Now, what is this podcast about? How can people find it?
You can find it on SoundCloud. You can follow there's a Facebook page as well, called You Good Podcast. And it's basically me and my friend Dylan Jacobus, we started this podcast to just kind of like do what we do at open mic nights and talk shop, and talk about the music scene in North Jersey, like Jersey, but kind of specifically North Jersey. Just that's because where I'm but
it's music based. It's all about music.
It is primarily music based, but we do go off topic. And I know that we've got a couple of shows that are coming up that are like we're going to do like a top 10 list of annoying sounds.
Okay.
And some of those answers are definitely going to be music based, but some of those answers are not music based, because one of my least favorite sounds in the world is when a car starts up and the belt squeaks.
Yeah, yes.
Oh my God! Just fix it. Just fix it already. Just fix it. It's a $20 belt. Just fix it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
one that bugs me is when the Windows makes that sound like you screwed up. You know what I'm talking about? And sometimes you do something that you don't consider a screw up, and Windows is like bang, and Windows.
That is an annoying sound when you're like, if I'm in the middle of mixing something or editing the podcast or whatever, and like all of a sudden we get like 40 prompts about the like our antivirus that I haven't updated because the computer works offline. I don't care.
Yeah, right. You're safe anyway.
Yeah.
So it's called You Good.
Yep.
YA Good ?
Yep.
And we're looking to find it on SoundCloud, but there's also a Facebook group.
Yeah, there's a Facebook page, and every time whenever an episode drops, we share it we'll share the link on Facebook.
Okay.
It's a small podcast. We're just starting it out. We've only been doing it consistently for like the past like 2 months. We took a long break after my kid was born. Because
which makes sense.
Yeah, well, you know just as well as I do, buddy. When you start building that family, you got to start shifting your things around and make everything fit.
Yeah, that's right. Things go on hold. My music career went on hold when that happened. And I, when they got older, I came back to it, but I ended up in comedy. But I want to plug your EP. Now you have an EP out there. It's called I've Been Called Worse, which is a great title. Now it's an EP because it's short. And where can people find it? Tell me about it. And
you can find it pretty much wherever you can stream music from. It's available on all platforms.
iTunes and SoundCloud.
I believe it's on YouTube as well.
Okay.
If you type in Nick Kina, I've Been Called Worse, I believe it still pops up.
Worse.
And this is kind of what the album cover looks like.
Well, I see the vinyl behind you there, just like I have vinyl. I bet you some Led Zeppelin is in there, of course.
I have every studio album, and the song remains the same. The film soundtrack. I also have a 45 of Hey What Can I Do?
Very nice. Perfect.
That's a rare find. I got that for
What's
a
on the
quarter
flip
at a
side?
garage sale. I got that 45 for a quarter at a garage sale. Blew my mind.
A quarter. They didn't know what they were
They had
selling.
no idea what they had, and it's
What's
one
on
of
the flip? What's on the flip?
It's the B side actually. The A side is Immigrant Song.
Oh, hey, what a great collection! Those are two great songs.
So when Zeppelin 3 came out, Atlantic Records said we want to put out a single. Led Zeppelin said no, we don't do singles, and Atlantic went and did it anyway. They took Immigrant Song, and then they grabbed Hey, what can I do off the shelves and put it together. And that's actually kind of what the last straw was. Which that's that's one of the arguments that led Led Zeppelin to forming their own label, because they were losing autonomy at Atlantic, and they didn't have control over their product. And so and just like Led Zeppelin does, I wanted to be just like them. This EP was self-produced. Well, not self-produced. No label or nothing. Me and Dylan Jacobus, Connor Larkin, Victor Phillips he's a great producer, and Sean Farrelly, fantastic drummer. We put this together during lockdown, and actually a lot of what was recorded like a lot of what ended up on the final product I recorded in a pantry during lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
I was stuck in Pittsburgh with my now fiance during the first few months of lockdown, and we wanted to get some work done, but I had no equipment with me, just my bouzouki and my songbook. But I had my tablet and I had my cell phone. So I kind of just jury rigged a coat rack to hold up my my tablet down here and my phone up about head level. And I stood in this pantry with the door closed and a yoga mat over my head to soundproof it. I must have looked like a really normal guy, but and I recorded a lot of my vocals and some of the bouzouki in that pantry, sent it back to Jersey, and they were working on it. And Victor Phillips
remotely.
especially, he was working on producing a lot of it while it was still stuck in Pittsburgh. And then I got back into Jersey, and then we went into the studio. We went to Original Music School of Morristown, which has some pretty cool recording studios as well. And me and the boys just banged out what was left. And
sounds good.
And then we put it out. But yeah, it was not the way a typical album gets put out.
No,
by any
I've
stretch.
been called worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Nick Keena. Everyone at home is poised to watch this film at the exact same time as we do here in the studio.
Right
so
on.
everyone at home, they've got to press play at the same time as we do here in the studio. And that's what you're here for. So why don't you go ahead, Nick Keena, and give us that celebrity countdown.
Wait, hang on, I gotta ask, what's the movie?
The movie is called Saturn 3. It's from 1980. Now, this stars Farrah Fawcett, and it's got Kirk Douglas, and I forget. Yeah, it's like a science fiction film, and it's from the 70s. It was filmed in 78, 79, even though it was released in 1980. It's right after Star Wars, so you see a lot of Star Wars influence in it. It's Harvey Keitel, Farrah Fawcett, and Kirk Douglas.
Oh my God, I'm watching.
And there's a crazy robot. Everyone's going to love this film. It's not the best film, but they're going to enjoy watching it with us.
I bet they will. This sounds like a real stinker, and I can't wait.
Yes, right. Okay, now, Nick Keena.
Okay.
Everyone at home, they are poised to watch this film same time we do in the studio. They got to press play same time. So why don't you go ahead, Nick Keena, and give us that celebrity countdown.
Thanks so much for having me, Carl. Keep kindness in your hearts and on your minds. 3, 2, 1, go!
Thank you, Celebrity Comedian Countdown, and thank you, Weird Beginning Movie. Oh, I think that's Celebrity Comedian. I haven't heard it yet, but it was fantastic.
It was the best ones.
This is the logo first. It is up, dude.
Go ahead. Turn it up. Go ahead.
It is. It's on. Lord Great is giving me no music. There's no music going on. Yeah,
that's my joke. There is no music in the beginning. We're going to get some music in a minute.
Carl, I have it at 100.
Now, look how this was. This was a 1980s for 2-second font. right?
Right.
Right at the beginning of the 1980s,
Stanley
for like
Nonen.
the first 3 months, you would see a book in this title. You would see, it didn't last for some reason.
What was it, like Dreamscape was 1980? The Nude Bomb with Maxwell Smart. It was a weird year, 1980 for
Yeah.
movies. A lot of weird movies came out that year.
Reagan just arrived. We still had Carter on our brain.
You could tell the clothing is like the 70s. Well, I do like that Farrah Fawcett has top billing of this Kirk Douglas movie.
Yeah. Now, it's shot in 78, by the way. So everything we're going to see on the screen was the late 70s, but this is 1980 when it releases. And her name is first, even though it shouldn't be, but she was the more famous person. This is pretty good for non-computer graphics. Now, Star Wars had come out. Everybody knew it.
Right.
And right now we're going to get, is it an homage to Star Wars, or is it like we better do this because that's what people expect in space movies now?
Well, you want to set the stage. You want to show the vastness of space, the planet that is set, and then humanity's technology. Yeah, improvement. Like, look how advanced we are.
Yeah. Now you should hear music.
Okay. I can't hear it. I can't hear it.
Mike,
I can't hear it. I'm turning up this. I gotta lower the sound. I can hear it. What?
Mike, turn the sound down so we can see if the sound goes up. Turn up the sound.
Okay.
Okay, so there is Star Wars, which I'm calling Episode 1 because that's chronological. The New Hope, which it wasn't called. Yes, it was in the beginning credits. This was the scene. It was a blank thing of space, and then over it went that Star Destroyer. That's exactly what they did, frame for frame.
Well, wasn't that like Alien and Red Dwarf? I guess Red Dwarf was being playful. They always have the space model they want to show off at the beginning.
Yeah.
You got to set the stage. But isn't this whole movie is like a sexy robot just chases after Kirk Douglas in that space station?
That's a good guess. It is not that, but yes, that is it.
Okay.
It's not that, but you're so close. You just missed the nail, right? Your next swing, you're going to hit it.
So I was telling Carl that I get this movie mixed up with, of course, Capricorn 1, which is when they faked the moon landing, and that was directed with O.J. Simpson, and it was directed by Peter Hyam, but this Stanley Nonen is he Singing in the Rain, Carl?
Yeah, he's the director for Singing in the Rain, which he co-did with Gene Kelly. Yeah. He did 2 with Gene Kelly. He did one called On the Town in 1949.
Isn't that the one with Frank Sinatra? New York, New York. Or no, that's Anchors Away.
Yeah, I think so. And there was that the one where they're like a Navy ship and they were docked in New York for the weekend.
Right. Yeah, they got a weekend. I can't tell if that's Anchors Away or I think it's On the Town. That's a great movie. Anchors
Away, I think, was a song in Wash That Man Right Out of My Hair. Why are we talking about this? Never mind. Okay.
We're in space.
Now we are faring civilization.
Space-faring.
Yes,
I like that.
Because we're by Saturn now. That's pretty fucking far. Okay. So I have no idea why this guy does it, but he murders his captain and steals like a cylinder, which I'll just give away because we spoiled things here, which is going to end up being a robot. Okay. But I don't know why he does it.
He's stealing a cylinder, which will become a robot. It's like a robot cylinder.
Right. So here's the captain, and he's running into the locker room where he stored his cylinder. Okay.
Doesn't make any sense.
Right. Look at this 1970s gym.
Well, it's the future. Everything is in buttons.
Yes. Here is my cylinder. Because it's laughing gas. Look at my briefcase, papers. Right. Now, who's this guy? He goes, "Hey, so I heard you failed the mental exam. Tough break, buddy." And then this dude starts going for the airlock.
Right. Yeah. After you tell him you lost your mental case.
Right. Then he goes, "No. Don't react negatively to my comment and push the button and kill me. Go ahead, turn it up if you want.
He's gripping on
Dude.
those 70s gym benches aren't going to save you in deep
That
space.
they're not.
Whoops, slice.
No.
Yes.
Look at that.
Does it make a noise, bro?
That was cut from other versions because it was like considered so disgusting. When I saw it, it looked like such a not human body that I didn't even.
It's the only interesting thing I saw. I never seen a body get sliced in space. You saw it going out there. You said, "Oh, he's gonna get sliced," and they sliced him. Hey, no running in the space lobby.
Hey, no running in the space.
No,
you see, that's supposed to be cool because it's upside down, but it's lost on me the first time I ever saw this film.
Zero gravity.
So they think he's the captain, and he is now getting into the captain pod.
They didn't tell that his captain's ass looks a lot better now. Like, it could be someone else.
Yeah, they didn't notice.
It fit, though. Okay.
I was just admiring your pleasure center. Don't call it that.
Ow. Just kidding. All right.
Now, that's their symbol. You see on the wall, that'll be on their jackets and stuff. We are a space faring. I'm sorry, go ahead. We're going pretty far, Saturn.
Yeah. Oh, so this isn't like NASA. This is like a private corporation?
No, I think it's like a NASA.
It's bugging out.
What I mean to say is there isn't really corporate. Earth is like starving, and they have this base on Saturn, which is just clouds. Okay, it's on the third moon of Saturn. That's why it's called Saturn 3, where they're like growing experimental food. Okay, and that's where he's headed.
Not once are we going to make a prequel joke or a sequel joke, or because I haven't seen Saturn 1 or 2.
It's the third moon. The first moon of Saturn is just a dead rock. It's just a dead rock. The second moon of Saturn has dancing girls, and there's like, it's sort of like Miami in space. There's
I never leave that one.
You can gamble. There's like a casino thing, and no, but Saturn 3, they're coming up with food for Earth. Like experimental foods that they could grow on Earth's shitty environment.
What if the moons hit the rings?
Oh,
the moons ever like hit the rings?
No, because the way it's in a locked thing now. Gravity fucked with it, and it got into a locked thing. So no, the moons will never bonk the.
He's riding in the rings right now.
Right? Isn't it cool?
Yeah, look, there's no rock right in front of him. It's a smooth sailing.
Well, because it's the rings, you see. You see how he sort of like went underwater? He's really going into a cloud.
He was going through the Saturn's ring.
Now, Star Wars had come out and it had changed everything. And people doing space movies knew they had to fucking do space. They can't fuck around with strings and shit. The audience is sophisticated now. They want to see.
Well, you talk about this is still 1977. Alien came out in 79, and that was like a haunted house in outer space movie, right? Where they were trapped in a haunted house and there's a monster chasing them. So,
and they likened this to Alien, to which this Donnan director was like, no.
We're more Star Wars.
Well, excuse me, hold on 1 minute. There's this guy named Barry. Yeah, John Barry. John Barry wrote the story. He was like, no. John Barry thought this up like 76 or some bullshit.
Right.
Okay, now.
But it's,
Go ahead and ask your question because I can hold up on the.
Oh, no, I was just saying that so far in my mind, I feel like this movie is a alien type movie where there's a guy trapped on a space station with a killer robot.
Yes, that is what's kind of going on here. But the thing is, Alien had the suspense and edge of your seat like a Hitchcock that this doesn't have. This does not have that. Now,
well, what about oh, sorry, Carl, go ahead.
No, it's just there's not supposed to be any atmosphere and we're seeing gas. It doesn't make sense. But you were saying, go ahead.
No, there's another science fiction movie with Sam Neill. Like it's in outer space, and there's like demons in outer space, and it's an abandoned spaceship. I don't remember the name of the movie.
Oh,
Everyone loves this
yes.
film,
Yes, it was an abandoned spaceship. Right. And
and it's like the port of hell. And then there's like Solaris, which is like a guy goes off in outer space. So it was a Russian movie, and then a
yeah,
George
and
Clooney movie.
it isn't a reincarnation. It's like somebody stole him or something. He got
Yeah, like
yeah, creepy.
yeah.
What was that haunted one? I can see it in my mind.
In my mind too, yeah, floating around.
Right.
Extreme blood measure. No, I know what it is. It's from the director of oh god.
Look at the good
Mortal
space.
Kombat. Mortal Kombat movie.
Okay, so 2 spacemen who live on the food place welcome this person from the head of their organization, and without any question. Now, like I said before, I don't know why he killed the captain to come here, because he is here on their production is down, so he wants to give them a robot to help with production. And unfortunately, I mean, one of them will get retired, but it will up production and, Earth can eat, that kind of thing.
Right.
So why kill the captain and be like, I'm going down there to give it to them, not you? Didn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Oh, Harvey Keitel. But his voice is overdubbed. Now check out this chick.
Wait, what? Really? We should listen to that. Hey, okay. Flara.
Flara Flossett. No,
Flara Flossett. I want to hear Harvey Keitel.
Well, we won't talk for a little while. Sorry. I'll tell you what.
Oh, what was that movie?
I remember on South Park they parodied it. And there were 2 spaceships. One was like an all-night party house, and the other one was haunted. It was like the Ron Don John and the John Don Ron, something like that.
I was looking at the movies he wrote, not the movies he directed. Event Horizon for 1997. Event Horizon.
It's got to be that. But wasn't there another one with the Jurassic Park guy was called Event Horizon? It's got to be.
That was it. Yeah, it's got to be. It was like, hey, there's a ship out there and we're getting a distress signal, but it's abandoned. And we go over there and the demons of hell are showing you your past, Carl. And they're like, what? Oh, no. How'd you know?
Okay, now he'll talk.
All right.
No, I haven't.
Saturn 3, when they want to get the solar system.
Why would they do that? Is he a robot, Harvey?
No, the reason they did it is because he has a Brooklyn accent. And
he has a Brooklyn accent. So boo-hoo.
Yeah. Well, in post-production, the director was like, this will never work. So he gave him like a mid-Atlantic accent that was sort of upper class. That way he could, I don't know, it just served better the purpose of his film, he claims.
But Harvey Keitel, the actor himself, redubbed himself.
No, he refused to. Harvey Keitel really hated the director, and they fought on set. And so when it was in post-production, he's like, oh, hey, hello, Harvey. Tell me, are you free on Friday? No, I'm not. Oh, that Brooklyn accent of yours. Listen, would you please come to the studio? No, I will not. Hang up.
I'm sorry. It must be the brawl of your Brooklyn accent, but I could mistakenly hear you say, no, I will not.
That's right. Well, I mean, when it came, Sarah Fawcett got $750,000 to do this, and Harvey Keitel got 90. So, like, right away, it's like, what the fuck? You know?
She's top billing, and he's not. He's underneath Kirk Douglas.
Yes, he is underneath Kirk Douglas, which often Farrah Fawcett will be in this film. Did you get that, Chandra?
I did. I actually made that joke. I said not literally, but I think yours is better.
Oh, damn. You did? Damn.
Yeah, hear it.
You know when I
Oh,
hear
Space
stuff
Cave.
sometimes on the broadcast.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, God, why did I step on Carl's joke? It was really good.
Well, it's really the other way around, like crazy. And I know the audience probably knows what I'm talking about. I'm focusing on telling you bullshit, and like you're in the
Right,
middle of
and
the
I'm
thought. I miss
but I'm
that
trying to
all the
riff on what you're saying and not necessarily the movie sometimes. Because we got to keep going. Take this space pill.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Farrah Fawcett has never been to Earth. And he's like, child, you don't know what you missing. Here's a space pill. She goes, what? Space pill? She's all innocent. Okay, there's the cylinder. It's
Tell
a
me
robot.
about Brooklyn. So she's human, right? In this beginning of the movie, Farrah Fawcett is not a robot,
Yes,
or is not presented as a robot.
there will only be one robot, and it won't be any of our cast members.
Oh, for this whole time I thought Farrah Fawcett was the killer robot.
Oh, gotcha. No,
Like how cool would be that? A sexy killer robot, right? In that
well,
voice.
right now she's a space chick. There was
Gotcha.
that film called Species, and there was
right. Natasha Leone. No, not
right.
Natasha Leone. Natasha. Shit, I don't remember.
And so she seduced the one guy, and then she goes, I really want to have a baby with you. And he's like, whoa, honey, hold on now. We're just our first date here.
Right.
Then he gets pissed off and kills him.
I've never seen any of the Species movies.
Oh, well, she has to procreate she's a species. She's got to procreate to get it going with on Earth and invade, kind of. So she does a courting ritual with the man, and then when they're alone, I think there was a hot tub involved. They're going to do it. She's like, I want to have a baby. I'm not understanding human culture.
Oh, wait.
So
I guess we just saw her naked.
Now, there is a naked scene, and we will not see it.
Well, we just saw a naked scene. I just saw her topless. Yeah.
Are you sure?
We
Did you
can't
see
rewind.
nipple or
we can't rewind. We've gone too far. Yeah, I saw nipple.
Michael saw the nipples star. Well, I guess I don't see how I could have missed that seeing this so many times. But she's not naked. See,
not naked. Well, you shouldn't be naked in front of your grandfather, Carl. Oh,
and you know it's a grandfather because he's going to take Viagra. See the blue pill?
He's take the blue pill. Thank you, OG.
Now, what happened is we heard the dog. The dog got trapped in the lab again. I'll get him.
Right.
Okay. Now, the only reason that happens is so later the dog could get killed. Because we're not going to have this dog hanging around with them, being friends. No, not at all. We see the dog now, and then we see the dog dead.
It's like the remnant of the haunted house, right? You have a dog that, hey, what are you doing? That's what I say back in Brooklyn. Oh, that's Bronx.
Yeah, right. He was like, hey, get out of here. And then the overdub is like, young lady, please.
Young lady.
Go ahead, turn it on. You'll hear his robot voice.
That was weird.
Times.
What do they have names?
Just something to eat.
He's got a rat tail for a minute.
Yeah, you
Look
see
at that rat tail.
Behind him is a circle. And this circle, he will interface with the robot. And the robot won't take years of training to become, just suck it up from his brain. So Harvey Keitel's got to have selective thinking, just program the robot. But that doesn't work out. He absolutely does not selectively think. And the robot kind of gets Harvey Keitel's personality without a moral compass.
Wait a minute, I'm lost. So the robot's going to take over Harvey Keitel's body?
Nope.
Have we met the robot yet?
You know how you program a computer? He will program it with his real brain.
I use basic. I go 10, go to pornhub.com. 20, print.
Question mark.
Yeah. 30, go to 10. Ews.
Yep.
Why is he watching? The whole thing is gross.
I don't know. Is it so gross? I mean,
she's reading
hasn't had the stroke yet. Now, we saw him in another movie with Dan Aykroyd.
Diamonds.
Right,
in
dying.
1999. Yeah, and it was right after Kirk Douglas's stroke. You know, one of my favorite bad movies is from mid 80s. It's called Tough
Mhm.
Guys, with Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas playing these 1940s, 30s con men who finally
Mhm.
get out of the clink in the 80s, and everything's changed. Their local bars, a gay bar, that type of thing. And they have the parole officer as Dana Carvey. It's a really good movie. I mean, by really good, I mean it's just
Is it called Tough Guys?
yeah.
I should
It's
see
on
it.
every.
Okay.
Did you have cable for the last 40 years? You might have seen it.
Okay. Probably I'll just go to the trailer on YouTube and go, oh, yeah, I saw this. Look at them doing
And
their
where
1970s style exercise in the year 50. No,
I
I
like
don't know
it.
how. Yeah, but look at the gravity. It's Earth gravity. He's just walking along.
It's a movie set, right? I mean, they're at
Mhm.
Pinewood Studios or whatnot. But the stuff they built is all kind of looks practical. I mean, obviously it's not like a greenhouse, but the lights must be blaring at them.
Now, this took a lot of money to build, and the budget was kind of wrecked up the film. The budget was 10 million. The box office was 9 million, but he had pre-sold it to NBC for 4 million. So he did make a profit, but it didn't ever mean to cost over 10 million. What happened is he got a payday instead of getting rich off this film. That's why he's crying. Okay.
Who, the director or the star?
Yeah. Well, no, the production company is
Stanley.
called ITC, and it was this Locks guy, Lou Grade. Lou Grade is his name.
Okay.
He was like the guy who stood to get pretty rich off this film and instead just got a payday. They were making Raise the Titanic at the same time, and that went way ass over budget. So that's it. Lou Grade, after these two films, he really didn't do much else.
I believe we did Raise the Titanic on this show. Either that or it was like 2 hours and we couldn't do it, but I think it's on there. Oh, look at this.
Wait,
Talk about
we
it.
didn't do Raise the Titanic. You and me, or?
Oh, I think this, I don't know if it was with you, Carl. I don't
Oh,
remember.
okay.
But I don't think I think we did do it. Like, at
Want to
first it
hear
was like,
sex talk? Go ahead. Let's hear
oh, yeah.
sex talk.
I know why you're denying me hospitality.
We offered you the run of the place.
I'm talking about you. Your body is very beautiful.
Oh, gross.
I'm not interested.
On earth, we use each other's bodies to give ourselves pleasure.
No.
I don't know that. I'm not from Earth.
I am admiring your pleasure center. Don't call it that.
Can't believe you hire Harvey Keitel because he's Harvey Keitel. No one else has that voice.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a happy set. You see, this guy named John Barry, he was really a production designer, and he was very famous for doing Star Wars, and
Okay.
when he left this film, he went on to do Empire Strikes Back. I mean, George Lucas went out of his way to down to a Mexico film set where he was working to hire this guy. Well, anyway, this guy had never directed before. So, I mean, Donnan was being a producer, and he was like, go ahead, you direct it. But he sucked. And because he sucked, the actors started taking advantage of that. So Donnan had to come down and say, look, I got to be with you on the set every day to make sure that you're doing this right. And he goes, so that's not going to work. So he quit, but was at the same time fired.
He does have a story credit, right? In this
Yes,
movie.
he did write this story. See the brain?
Yeah.
It's a
It's a lot of
newborn
brain.
fresh brain, which will be imprinted, programmed basically by Keitel's selective thinking.
All right. So that brain is the robot.
Yes.
And the brain just needs a corporal body. I don't know what the word corporal means.
No, it needs yes, it will have a machine body. It will be your traditional robot that you think of.
Okay, so this makes a little more sense because this movie doesn't make any sense. Look at Farrah Fawcett nipples. Oh wait, that's Kirk Douglas. Sorry.
That's his rib cage. Look at Farrah Fawcett's nipples. No, that's I
Kirk
thought
Douglas
your boobs were just sagging, Michael, Mr. Douglas.
He doesn't have six-pack abs, Kirk Douglas. He has like a barrel. right? He's one of those guys with the barrel.
Yeah.
Do some old timey boxing with my little mustache and my weird body. Yeah,
Right now
that's it.
they're discussing. Oh, I was wrong. There's the dog.
Right.
But this dog was only born in this movie to be killed, I assure you. So
Wait, what does the dogdie.com say?
it's got to say the dog dies.
Yeah, I'll check.
It's they were just lamenting the fact that one of them's going to be retired and replaced by this robot. And she's like, "We've got to stay together. We can get recommissioned or something." You
Are
see
they
the
going to go to a
knees?
space bar? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the robot is being built.
This thing took $1 million to build. No, it cost a little over $1 million to make. Isn't that stupid?
What's with the space pill? Is this like space ecstasy?
Okay, so that's the way they're acting. He goes, "I am tired. Take me to my quarters." And she's like, "Have a nice sleep." And he goes, "I'll just take a blue and crash." So now, like, that makes me think it's a sleeping pill, right?
Yeah.
But now they're acting like it's whoopee, but they're really not going to get high.
All right, Carl, I have to give you the doesthedogdie.com. Saturn
Okay.
3. Does the cat die? No. Does the dog die? Yes. Does the animal die? No. Are animal abused? No. Dog fighting? Is there a dead animal? Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's basically it. So
There
yes.
sure is a dead animal, and it's
Wait,
really
is
gross.
someone stalked? Yes. Someone using drugs? Yes. Someone sexually assaulted? Yes.
Sexually assaulted? No.
Yeah, got flagged. Is there eye mutilation? Yes. Is the head gets squashed? Yes. Is there
Wait.
amputation? Yes.
Okay, actually, some of those are stretches and opinions, but yeah, I guess it's true.
I mean, I don't mean to spoil it, but I mean the thing about this, it goes beyond the dog. So
Oh yeah, no, I mean Harvey Keitel himself is going to. Not everybody's going to buy it, but
yeah. Okay, fair enough. But it's official. The dog does die, according to doesthedogdie.com. Oh, got that robot blue liquid going up the veins.
yep,
Once
this
it hits
is
the
his
kneecap,
vital
I am.
fluids.
I now know all the works of Ben Franklin now because the fluid's in my abdomen. Right, because you learn more knowledge as the fluid goes
Adamant.
up. He didn't learn that yet. It's the
I
worst
guess
pinball
gravity's
machine.
upside down here because
It's going up.
Yeah.
It's alive. It's a little bit of Frankenstein, right? Space Frankenstein.
Right. The director says that it's more like Frankenstein than Aliens.
Still. Well, that's kind of cool. The space genre being twisted around. So this time it's a Frankenstein story in space.
Mm-hmm.
That's all my movie pitches were. In space back in the day. Listen, they're open micers and they're driving cross country to do a competition in space. Space and micers.
Listen,
Space
you keep
micers.
thinking okay, listen, do you want to do that movie? Because we can do it. But I
National
mean,
Lampoon's open micers. Yeah, we got to write our script.
yeah, but we can't. I will not go with a story that wraps up with the best thing they could ever do is quit comedy.
Okay, we'll have to change the ending. That would be the alternative ending on the DVD.
Like you thought that was so funny. He quits comedy and he's a happy life. You see him on social media. He's got a nice car. Everything's good. Come on.
Well, then at the end, well, how about after the credits end, he goes back to a mic?
But you can't have a happy ending for an open micers becoming famous story if it's
right.
Quitting comedy made them so happy. It's just I cannot.
Okay, all right. So let's change it. So they win the competition. Or they get second place.
And they'll be Chris Rock.
Yeah. It ends with them doing a show at Red Rocks.
Yeah, like in U2.
Yeah,
Killing
like
Bottle.
where Steve Martin performed King Tut there on stage.
Okay,
building a robot in space.
So now he's plugging into the back of his head, direct input.
Direct input, back of Keitel head.
Right.
Careful of rat tail. Rat tail charging 2%.
I hope he doesn't back his butt up, and that was their direct input, and starts feeding the robot.
Harvey Keitel had a real streak in the 90s, but in the 80s, I'm trying to think what other movies he was in. I didn't really recognize him until like
Well,
early
it
90s.
was that Harvey Keitel.
Mean Streets is his
No,
famous
what's
one.
the director's name? Okay, hold on. I'll just look it up.
Scorsese,
Yeah. He's like in
Taxi
all
Driver.
the Scorsese films, and that sort of made him. He was really big in Europe too.
Yeah.
Here it is. Known for
Space Chess.
the morally ambiguous tough guy. Okay. 6 of Martin Scorsese's film. Who's Knocking at My Door? 67. Mean Street 72. Right. Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Taxi Driver.
He's great in that.
Last Temptation of Christ in 88.
Right.
In the 80s, I don't see much. In the 90s, I see a lot. Thelma and Louise, The Reservoir Dogs, Bad Lieutenant, Pulp Fiction, From Dusk Till Dawn, Holy Smoke, Copland Youth. Well, no,
he was in the monkey business too, right? He had a monkey that would steal people's wallets. He had this routine down in Venice Beach.
I don't remember that. That's funny though.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Look at the
great.
monkey.
So you're saying that he probably was pulling out of the tail end of the 70s with his Scorsese run.
Right.
And he got this space movie that was kind of DOA to begin with. Was having troubles from the start. Wasn't dead on arrival. Robot's going to play chess.
The director was a really bad director. And
what are you talking about? You never seen a movie called Singing in the Rain? It was at the end of Babylon. Didn't you watch 3 hours of Babylon at the end?
Okay, rewind. There was an original director, and this guy's name was John Barry, and he was really a production designer, and he even did Star Wars. Okay,
but he was a very bad director.
He was very bad, and Kirk Douglas and him fought, and when he quit the production, which was really him getting fired, Kirk Douglas, he was the director for 2 days. Kirk Douglas said, "Good, he's out. Fuck that guy. Okay, you over here. I want a 2 camera setup. Let's wash the lights out here. Farrah, come closer. Roll them."
Uh-oh. Direct input.
That's
maybe the rat tail covers up the hole.
Yeah.
Ooh, he got it on the first try, Carl.
Yeah, because it's a movie.
Right. It would have taken me 6 times to get that thing in the back of my head and straight.
Now it's unclear to me if Keitel, he said he can know chess because I know chess. So is Keitel playing chess with Kirk, or is the robot?
Do you think it's combined? Like, here is the rules, my robot overlord, and he's like processing.
Mm-hmm. Look,
they spent all this money for a robot to play chess. You know, there's computer chess. In the future, there's also computer chess. They don't really need a robot.
Well, even though this is the future, it's the past.
The robot's like, now that he doesn't have Keitel's intelligence, he's like, check me. King me, I mean.
Well, Kirk Douglas, king me, right. He thinks it's checkers. So Kirk Douglas will now get checkmate, and the robot will be angry and ruin a piece.
Here we go, checkmate.
And nobody's gonna bat an eye.
Johnny 5 pissed off. Johnny 5 pissed off. Johnny 5 angry. That was my Short Circuit.
Is that his name, Johnny 5?
No, I had never seen Short Circuit, but I've seen Short Circuit 2. But in Short Circuit 1, Johnny 5, the robot, says, Johnny 5 alive.
I guess I never saw that. Or its sequel.
Yeah.
Do you recommend I see it?
No. I mean, it's cultural. Like the second one, it's
what's it
Fisher
called again?
What's it called? Short Circuit. It's called Event Horizon. EVENT. Event Horizon. Plug in. Look, gets on the first go.
Whoa.
Hey, I brought the milk home.
Okay, wait, let's hear more sex creepy talk. Go ahead.
Okay, all right.
Whoa, he's got a big one. Now look, you see, Keitel is looking, so therefore the robot is looking. So the robot's going to get the hots for Farrah Fawcett.
I know. I does the dog that kind of told me. I keep calling it "Does the dog die?"
Why? Does the
Because
dog
it's the dogdie.com.
.com. Now look at Kirk. He sees what's going on.
He looks like Marty McFly's friend. Oh,
Yes.
man. In the future, you guys have a great parlor room.
Now, what they're doing right now is they're like, Keitel's cautioning, like, how can you have selective thinking? Anything that goes into from his brain into that robot is he's going to become Harvey Keitel as a robot. And that could mean with all his human greed and lust. So he's trying to prove that he can be. Yeah.
Carl. Later. All right, here we go.
We're not going to see it.
Nope. Oh, all right. So
You're
as you
not
were
gonna
saying,
see it.
I didn't say anything.
They filmed it too, and it did not make it into the final movie. There's an 87-minute cut. When it goes on NBC, a lot of extra scenes were put in that they shot. I've got a whole long list here. It's a little boring.
Oh, so this was like a 2-hour NBC extravaganza, but to make it 2 hours, they needed to take out the sexy and added some filler.
I don't think it's filler. Let me go.
They just padded it. Was it like a 3-hour event? Was it a 2-part?
When the film was broadcast on NBC in mid-1984, a number of scenes that had been edited out of the original print had been restored. And there, I've got a list of like a dozen.
Wow. Anything
Adam
interesting?
offering to take Alex to Earth. Alex voicing your concern for Adam about Hector outside the complex. Adam taking Hector outside in the moon buggy. That seems like a major sequence, right?
Right.
Benson asking how right now she had an accident, like a shard of glass or something like went into her eye, and now she's resisting, but the robot will take it out. So it's sort of like a trust building thing.
I read about this on the dog die dot.
Does the eye get poked? Does the eye get poked dot? Does the eye dot poked get .com?
Yeesh. Hate these scenes. There's a famous cinematic scene, of course, where eye gets slashed by a razor.
Here it comes. Really awful.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's in black and white.
Now it'll come. Now it'll come.
Oh man, look away! Look away! Look away!
Ouch!
Ew, how'd they do that, Carl? That's gross. Did they really shoot it like that? They had it super late. That had been special effects.
There was no computer graphics in this day. It's all practical.
Well, maybe they matted. Maybe they superimposed 35 millimeter side by side or some bullshit like that. Like it was Mary Poppins.
Maybe they didn't. Now, this didn't win a Razzie. It was just nominated, and it didn't win the bad movie, the Stinkers.
The Razzies came out in, I guess, 1980, and
what
was it? Like Village People and Xanadu? Like, there was a lot of bad movies in 1980. This was a banner year for bad movies.
Gotcha. Okay, you see that's the garbage? He's emptying the garbage?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Remember that for later.
Okay, garbage in the first act comes back in the third.
Now, there is a
Space
little bit
trash.
of Mike, this is important for our viewers.
Okay.
There is some pokiness of nipples, but you've got to really be attentive to her chest to catch them. Oh, she's burying them now. But so I'm just letting our audience know.
No.
In this particular scene, not others, be attentive to Farrah's chest, because there every now and again you'll catch a poke, like there's a shadow of a shade of you'll see the poke.
So there is space junk. Got to keep eye on space junk. That's going to play later, and then keep an eye on the robe.
Okay, now at the first Golden Raspberry Awards, this was nominated for Worst Picture, Worst Actor as Kirk Douglas, and Worst Actress as Farrah Fawcett. None of them won. Now the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards, I guess that went away, right? Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
Well, it was nominated for Worst Actress and Worst Screen Couple.
Yeah, we're screen couple for sure.
Now, this is when Keitel starts to realize something
Murder.
fucked up's going on. Yeah, he's like, you're not supposed to know that I did. You're not supposed to remember that. Clank, blanket is what they call it. Erase it, right?
Oh, I see. Does Harvey have like a past? Like he killed another spaceship or something, and now
Well,
he's
yes, in the beginning, he killed the captain. He got sliced
that
up.
was Harvey? I didn't realize that.
Right, because then he got in the ship and flew here. So he
Is he
knows
on the
that he's a
lam?
killer. What?
He's not faking. He's not faking who he is, right? He was supposed to go on that ship anyway.
He is faking that he's the captain. Yes, he is faking that
Gotcha.
he's the captain. But why? Why did he want to deliver the robot and not the captain? I don't understand the point of the plot. Like
Yeah,
okay, another thing.
I don't understand it at all. I didn't realize. Yeah,
They're out of contact with the mothership. Like they're in the shadow of Saturn or some crap. So they got to wait 23 days or 24 days until they come around. So there's this time. You see how he's like, you're malfunctioning.
robot, you are.
You
I
are.
hate when robots do that.
I'm rubber.
Oh.
You're glue. You're
You're
malfunctioning.
Oh, you know what, Carl? I'm rubber, you're glue. 10. Print. I'm rubber, you're glue. 20.
Elfring.
Go to 10.
No, I'm rubber. You're glue. Go to 10.
Everything they
I'm
say, so
rubber.
just keeps going. You're glue. Just keeps going over and over again. No, you are.
Oh, now there's another one of the dog, and the dog, I guess, will get a more expanded role now.
All
No,
right.
he won't. He'll get killed.
Oh
And
my
it will
God.
be
I can't.
gory.
Carl, I can't wait to go to the theater to watch a robot kill a dog.
It just tugs on your heartstrings.
What was a good movie where a dog dies, right?
Okay. Like
I'm trying to
Benji?
think of. Oh, John Wick, number 1.
Like Beethoven?
Beethoven. Oh, I see the Beethoven was hysterical. Did not see it. I would say John Wick is my favorite dog dead movie.
Well, Benji
You know that.
is. Well, we don't see. Do we see? It is your favorite dog dead movie.
Yeah.
What do you think of this fourth one coming? Aren't they just doing that for the commercialism you're talking about?
They said this is it's broken into chapters. They said there's supposed to be 5 John Wick movies.
See that? Did you see it? The dog was decapitated. Did you see it? You missed it.
I did see it. It was a bloody red syrup
Okay,
mix.
you stuff. So you were saying there's going to be 5?
Well, let's show a little respect for the dead dog. Yes, so there's going to be 5 out of respect to the dead dog. There will be 5 John Wick movies in honor of, and there is already offshoots. So there is supposed to be a show about the Continental Hotel of the world of the espionage, but there is going to be a movie spinoff, Ballerina with Marilyn from Blonde, and do you remember her?
I was looking at her pleasure area right now.
Me and the Robot 2, Stalking Robot. Look at this, is like a stalker movie. But anyway, Ballerina is going to have John Wick show up. I don't know if you saw the 3rd chapter, Parabellum.
No, I didn't see. I only saw the a first quarter of the first one.
All right, wait. We're going to have to get back to our John Wick conversation in a bit because this is pretty exciting. Something's happening. The robot's finally attacking.
The robot has now killed the dog, and just Farrah Fawcett's hanging there. Her name's Alex. So he says, put her down. He won't do it. So Farrah has to say it because he will obey Farrah Fawcett. But that doesn't become a plot point. It's only in this scene.
Oh my
what
God.
happened? I was sorting the ketchup packets.
I found this old plushie for the set of Dog Must Die 7. You know that movie sequel? Anyway, so I was throwing it around on the floor, and there was apparently some red syrup all over it to begin with.
Jump! Wow.
Oh,
that was really Kirk Douglas. That would have hurt my crotch. Seriously.
Your balls must have ached when you jumped in that jumpsuit. When you land, like where are they going to go? They're going to
Yeah,
hit.
right. They're just going to get squeezed up.
Yeah. The claw. That's from Toy Story. I'm never good with these claw machines. He got him in the first go. Usually it takes me. I spend money after money on the claw machines trying to get the
Really?
prizes. Yeah. I know it's a ripoff.
It is. Did you know that those claw machines are classified as gambling?
Yeah. Oh, it has to be. I mean, what are you doing but gambling?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay,
there was a
now,
lot. Okay.
Kirk Douglas is deciding to not save Harvey Keitel because he's the reason all this fucked up shit is happening. And then he's like, no, I can't do it. I have to save him.
You know how Quentin Tarantino always says, I'm going to do 10 movies and retire when I'm 60?
Yeah.
It's because he's seen movies like this. Where the director is Singing in the Rain has made a kooky space movie. But you know what? It's a kooky space movie. Keep going.
I don't know. It's not so sucky.
Have you seen Jason in Space?
No.
Jason
Was he
X?
with the Agronaut?
Yeah. So there's these like space teens and they're on a spaceship and they're like going to, I don't know, space camp. And Jason, they find like Jason from Crystal Lake floating in an asteroid and they defrost him and he kills everybody.
Oh, the Jason? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's the 10th Friday and the 13th movie, so they called it Jason X.
Okay, so now the robot is destroyed. Okay, they believe. And excuse me, I'm sorry. Sorry. The robot's not destroyed yet. Soon he will be. Okay, never mind.
You just gave away the ending.
Well, no, that's not the ending at all.
Wait a minute. So when the robot is killed,
Right.
By the way, robots get killed because they have a life. So when the robot's alive and then the robot gets killed,
right, then
the movie
he's not
continues.
dead. Yes.
There's like 20 more minutes.
Just watch the film. I don't know how many minutes. Okay, so he didn't kill him like I thought. He disabled him. He was laying on the ground, and then they trapped him in the door. And that's when Kirk Douglas jumped through. Okay, so
what's in the background? Is it like sports brackets? The space monitors?
He's just trying to tear through a door. It's the door itself. It's space brackets.
Well, I'm talking about the monitors right there behind him.
Let's listen.
All right.
Oh, he needs to recharge his battery.
We'll overload him. I'm gonna give him a headache he won't forget.
So when he plugs in to get charged, they're really gonna charge him.
Oh, as he's gonna get a shock it'll be a shocker.
That will be.
I think they did this.
Farrah,
they did this to Jason X. He survived.
So Farrah Fawcett will, pretend to be part of it. She'll click on some buttons. He's almost got it. The robot is not female, so it's not what you're thinking, Mike.
That hair is great. That's like predated the 90s by 10 years.
Yeah, even though it's 79 right now.
Boom, we got it. He just had to push that space lever up. Look right there on the monitors.
Yes.
It looks like I don't know. That's
what you're talking about, not the stuff on the wall.
Not the actual movie. All right, robot down. The end. Thanks, Carl. That was a great movie. Good choice.
Yeah, and now Harvey Keitel will have the job of dismantling him.
But he's pissed though because his soul's in there, right?
No, he's not pissed at it. He's not some evil scientist. He's just like doing his job, and it didn't work. And now he said, when we get past this, it's called an eclipse, not a shadow. My mistake, even though that's kind of what an eclipse is.
Oh, he's not down, Carl.
Yeah,
Robot's coming up. Robot is rising.
It's just for the emotional up and down roller coaster of the movie. He will be dead now.
But this is what they literally a robot uprising.
He's doing a robot push-up right now.
He's doing the robot worm on the dance floor.
Stay down. You have the right to remain silent. Stay down. Now look, he's taking his brain out. He's brainless. Oh, my little brain, my precious brain.
It's smoked brains. Oh, it's so much better when they're smoked, Carl. Oh, he's throwing them in the garbage?
I do appreciate a poached brain, but you're right. Smoked brain, it's got a rich hickory flavor.
Yeah. Marinate that. Oh, all right. So we're getting to the point where they're gonna have a final battle, right? No,
well, like we're just giving each other shit right now. Like I'm gonna report you as incompetent, and we got away from Earth to be away from people like you, and they don't know Harvey Keitel failed his mental evaluation. They don't know any of. So Harvey Keitel's doing it. He's dismantling the robot.
Would this be a better movie if it's revealed that he killed the captain and stuff like that, like earlier?
I don't know. I just want to understand why he did it.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that you've done the research on this movie, I would have not known. I would have watched this movie not realizing that was.
Well, you would have watched it with the sound and maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little muddled.
It's true that he is in black. You see his mask on the whole time. Okay, watch. Look, audience, check him out. Check him out. You can see right now there is a protruding. There's a punch. You see, Mike? It's poking. It's like chili in there. You see what I'm talking about?
I do. Yeah, I told you that black turtleneck covers nothing, Carl.
No, not Kirk. No, not Kirk. And those are ribs, by the way. I'm talking about Pharaoh. Okay, watch.
All right, watch. I watch it.
Come on, get your pleasure center out of there. Right. Let's see the. Whoa, that was a good one. Look, you see the profile? All right, I'll stop. All
right. No, I got. I mean, like I can't even sit through this movie one time. Whatever gets you through this movie, I guess. This is how they got their 9 million, right? What's the strength on Farrah Fawcett?
Yes. 10 million. They got 10 million. So they got $1 million in profit at the box office, and he got an extra 4 from NBC. So he got 5 mil, but he was thinking he was going to get like 15 mil. He was really, this was going to be like a retirement plan kind of one.
Was she in Logan's Run? It's been a while since I've seen that film.
Sure. She was in Logan's Run. She had a very bit part, and that was like 76 or 7. Am I wrong? She wasn't as famous at that point. She was on Charlie's Angels only.
But also the poster made her an international icon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that poster was what year would you guess? 74, 76?
No, yeah, that was before Charlie's Angels, wasn't it? I think it was.
I think you're right.
I think that's how she got the strength. On the strength of that, she got the Charlie's Angels part.
Well, what was the poster then? What was it promoting other than herself?
I'll have to Google it because I really don't know. It wasn't an advertisement. It was just the poster. It was her. Okay, by the way, our robot has now taken mind control over the other 2 robots, the primitive robots that are there. And
yes.
Assemble his robot body again.
Damn.
See, he's not dead.
Just when you thought he was out, he's back in again. Robot assemble. Oh, you're right. You're offline. Other robots assemble the robot.
Robot parts assemble. They can't assemble. What are you talking about? Okay, well, robots assemble the part.
Right, there was a comma. Robots, comma, assemble. Wow. Yeah, you can see the money spent. I don't know if it's kind of cool to see. It's practical.
Yes, it is. I'm just saying, did we really need to spend $1 million on this? It couldn't be done with 1 million camera tricks. Did you have to have an arm that was really the right thing, or could you just put some hydraulics in there? What you imagine it might be like. Look at that brains.
The
It's
brain
like,
is crazy.
it's
They got
stuff.
everything right about robots except for one detail.
Are they marshmallows?
Whose
It's
brains are
pillow.
they? Are they like fully developed brains? Is that you and me stuck in a jar? Like we agreed to this?
Remember the fluids, audience? Yup.
Yeah,
That
there it is
cues you
again.
that he's coming to
A lot
life.
quicker this time.
He's got Cylon legs. Have you noticed that?
I wasn't gonna say anything, but yes. They look like the bodies you see at the Science Museum when they're showing you all the veins.
Oh, right.
All right, he's
Liberty
ready.
Science
He's
Center
gonna
has
wake up. You know the robot's fully online when finally the head moves. There we go. Duh. I am fully sentient. My head is moving last. Ooh,
Look at
that's
my two
cool.
eyes for 3 dimensions.
Oh, evil Keitel.
But he's not evil. He just like is a fuck up and he's crazy. And see, they think the movie's over. They don't know that the
Right.
robot's assembling himself right now. They think, okay, we beat
Oh
the robot
man,
and Keitel will go home. You see all
there's
the
the
pills?
drug use. Yeah, that's the drug use. I read about it on does the dog do drugs.com.
He's like, I'm leaving and I'm taking Farrah Fawcett with me.
Crazy. What, they're going back to Saturn 1?
No, he's
Dead
going to go to
planet.
Earth. Go ahead, turn it up.
I'm taking command. You're inadequate, Major. In every area.
Inadequate, including the bedroom, buddy.
It doesn't disgust you to be used by him, to be touched by an old man. Can't you feel
I'm gonna kill you.
Pretty mean.
He's a stasis.
Oh, okay. He's full Kirk.
Now,
He's joking.
Douglas is going to kill him, and Farrah's like, no, please don't. So he doesn't kill him.
Right.
Look at it. He's pulling his hair.
It was a metaphor. I was choking the Keitel. It's naked, lying on the carpet.
Whoa! Ah! He must have had some
Yeah,
kind of accident.
Yo, what accident? What was the crack?
Right down the middle.
You didn't give me a heads up for that? But her shirt?
Oh!
All right. Dog ketchup. That was pretty gross, the dog.
Yeah, the dog was decapitated, and that was one of the things that got cut. Uh-oh! Oh,
no!
Gory!
Is just
Turn it up because she really screams, like freaks out. Oh, it's too late, baby. There we go. It's very convincing. It's real terror.
Right. But Kirk survives?
Yeah.
That was a bonk. Look, it's the same moment. Like maybe a couple days rest up. Nope. I'm all right. Got a little ketchup on my head.
Come on, there's a killer robot and guys are getting their hands cut off.
In the space corridors that were established. Now these are not are they on Saturn 3, the planet? Yeah.
The moon. They're on, they don't name, of course Saturn's moons have names, but they don't do that. They just say numbers, and they're on the third moon of Saturn, and so they're underneath the ground.
Gotcha. Yeah. So these are all space corridors. These are moon corridors.
Right. And it's a very flimsy premise. They're working on experimental foods. So they're not a factory. So why is it this huge complex full of what? Where is this food they're working on? Hydroponics. Where are the farm? Where's the lab?
I have more questions. If this is so cavernous, how come they could breathe without an oxygen tank? I mean, were they able to pipe in air conditioning throughout the entire interior?
You're
Yeah.
right about that. It must be a pressurized place, and they must have it filled with nitrogen and oxygen,
The
carbon
entire
dioxide. How? And what
would
are some of
Saturn
the
allow that? Saturn
things?
would not allow that. You go to one of the Saturn's moon and you like fill it up with oxygen, it would fuck shit up.
No, that would be fine. That'd be like having a house. It would be like having a little base.
It would ruin the trajectory. It's going to hit the rings, and it's going to be shit the
No,
butt. You know.
we cannot push a moon because we have a house.
You don't think if you dig underneath the Saturn, the third planet? All right, I'll let it be. I'm not a
No,
scientist.
Okay, like if you were to dig down, how deep are you going? Are you going 8
I
feet? Are
don't
you
know.
going 100 feet? Like think of how
Enough to
many
grow food for
miles
Earth.
the moon is.
They dug into the moon to grow food for Earth, and then they ship it in and out.
Well, I can't explain the logic of it, Mike, because it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't
But
make sense.
yes, the premise is they're an experimental food place. That's the premise.
So this whole movie is a killer robot in space.
Yeah.
With so many questions unanswered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like nice camera work. See, the camera's underneath. Oh, and it's the same shot of them sneaking by. Oh, same shot of this. These are all standing stunt people. Like that's not the real robot walking.
Oh, really?
They had a
It's
stand
stunt
in. Yeah, they had a
robot?
robot stand in. Yeah. Robot couldn't be bothered with the foot shots. Uh-oh. The doot.
So Farrah Fawcett lets us know that this originally was called The Helper. And it was an interesting story, in her words, about how a robot took on the mind of the guy who created him. So when Harvey Keitel's character would look at me, the robot created would look too. It was very interesting script, so creative. So I don't know. It changed along the way. And changing directors didn't help, and going over budget and having to make cuts didn't help. Sean Connery was considered to play Adam, the part that Kirk Douglas is playing, but he turned it down. And Michael Caine was considered to portray Benson, the part that Keitel is playing, and also turned it down.
Well, Sean Connery was in that space movie, Outlands, and I guess Outlands. Remember, like he had a space colony. It was kind of like
and they were mining, and that guy was coming to kill him.
Yeah, like 12 o'clock high in outer space. In space, it's like a Western in space. That
great guy was in it. The one who was the father in Everyone Loves Raymond. That great actor.
Peter Boyle.
Yeah,
Peter Boyle. Yes. Event Horizon, you're thinking of.
No,
all right.
The movie with Sean Connery. Is it Outlander or Outland?
Outland. Or it might be Outlands.
No, that's outlandish.
I think it's Outland.
No, that is outlandish.
That's too much. Too outlandish. Same corridors. Same steamy air-conditioned corridors.
They probably do that, and then they turn around, shoot it the other way.
Where did we park? I think it's here. According to our ticket, it says double D 43. We're on CD. Is that a thing?
Now, these sets constructed were the largest ever constructed at the time for a film made in the UK. This was a UK film, even though everyone's American. 2 large soundstage at Shepperton Studios were taken over by ITC.
I thought it was Pinewood, but I was close.
Producer Lou Grade was disappointed how the film turned out. It looked great on paper, but it started to fall apart due to John Barry's inexperience, Kirk Douglas's ego running riot, Harvey Keitel's lack of cooperation, and Farrah Fawcett's lack of character personality. Script problems.
Well, what does that mean? What is character
she's
personality?
Boring. I mean, she's flat.
Yeah.
That's not wrong.
We gotta keep running. This movie is about, can they get 10,000 steps in outer space? And I would say right now they're at 6,000 steps.
Grade said the film he agreed to fund and the end result were almost 2 different films.
This film ended in my eyes. They were just running around now for your...
Yeah, and that's not really true. It has not ended. You are going to... the running around will stop, but...
Good.
This film is
All right, they're gonna face the
We
robot.
are in Act 2 right now. Let's see how many minutes in we are. Okay, there's 30, there's 20, there's 20, 22
We still
minutes.
got yeah, fair enough.
So we are in Act 3, I guess, but
Getting there. Oh, nice shot.
that pissed me off. I'm going to go get him. All right, now what they're going to do is that garbage area, they're going to have it that's Harvey Keitel's blood, by the way. They're going to have it so that it's camouflaged that when he steps on it, he'll just fall right through.
Like in that scene in Star Wars when they're in the garbage barge.
No, this will be like trapping
Like
him.
wild.
It'll make him fall in there and he won't be able to get out. That's the point.
Gotcha.
But is the robot a dummy? The robot's no dummy.
The robot has like robot ray vision.
Yeah.
Look, that's a good puzzle piece. They got the blood lined up properly. right? Like a jigsaw puzzle. You got to get the image right.
They would have to do it right, or the. So what should happen here is Farrah Fawcett should engage the robot or run away. So he just goes chasing him. But no, she stands there and the robot stops and goes, something's weird here. And where's that dude? Where's that other guy? That Adam dude.
He's a chess playing robot. It was already established, Carl. Remember the robot was playing chess?
Yeah, he's one step ahead of them now.
One step ahead. Hey, come on up here. Do the robot with me.
Here, Hector. Come on.
Give me a hug.
Yeah, right. She doesn't even do that. Look at his eyes. You can see in his eyes he's thinking about it.
Well, that's really good acting. See, Farrah Fawcett's holding her own with the robot.
Oh, Mike, turn it up. Well, it's too late. You missed it. No, Farrah Fawcett. Okay, I don't know. Why do you have to defend her? Why do you have to defend her?
I'm not defending her. I'm a fan of Charlie's Angels. You know that, right?
That's a great example. That was horrible acting on all three of their parts.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Look at her face. Oh, you can't fool me.
Garbage alert. Garbage alert.
I'll just go around.
This film's garbage. Is underneath the floor.
Look at her great acting. She's backing up.
She's trapped in a weird control center that no one uses because there's no one else on this space moon.
Oh, smart. You went in there anyway,
Uppercut.
buddy.
Okay, now let's get the crane game going.
I'm stuck.
Nope. Gotta run.
Stuck.
Again.
Oh, they were going to play the crane game? That's good.
To pull up the robot. Oh, the robot's pulling himself up and he's covered in garbage, garbage.
Is it or is it ice, right? I don't know what it is.
It's kind of icy barge water.
Yeah, see, it looks frozen.
But it's covered. It has to be covered with garbage. Space junk. Space junk. Boom, boom. All right, finally they got a spacesuit on.
You're on Saturn 3, but I'm not.
You're everywhere. Oh, I'm not. But remember the Devo song was a space junk?
Oh, is that no? You know what? I never. Whoa, what just happened?
Something about a detonate.
Yeah, he pushed the detonate button. Yep.
You got to donate now to Mutiny Radio. Go ahead.
The detonate button. So I guess that Harvey Keitel knew where the detonate button was because otherwise the robot couldn't have known. But
are they done? They did it. See, the blood's like a makeup thing. Sometimes when they have these action films and someone gets hit and there's like blood on the head, they keep that blood stain the entire movie. Like it just looks like a sideburn.
Right, like a sideburn.
Yeah, so it's like a blood sideburn. Like in real life, you clean that up, or you would say, "Ouch, my head." I don't feel like running around, but not in the film. You just have it as like a background thing.
So it's obvious that the robot doesn't want to kill them because it blew up the ship. So what they did is they now got into Keitel's ship, and they're going to have it automatically fly home to Earth. But it doesn't work. Every button they push, they're coming up on the
Well, these are
It's
all
like,
space age buttons, Carl. One of them has to work. Look, that
this
closed. That
was
button
their
closed the door.
escape. This was their escape out of here, and it's not going to work.
Do you remember your first day on Saturn 3? Carl, open the door. And the button to open the door is don't joke with me, Carl. Press the button. The donate now button.
Now wait, turn on the sound. Turn on the sound.
Captain.
Now remember, he was dead. He got his hand chopped off.
He is a spirit.
God, listen.
Captain, what happened? Hector and I have come to an arrangement.
Where is the robot?
Hector is with me. Come this way, please.
That sounds like, I don't know, Frasier or something.
Oh, like one of the people who call in. Yes, hi. Thank you for calling Fraser online on the air. Yes, follow me, Fraser.
Well, I like this road you're leading me down. Let's call
More
her.
corridors. Are these new corridors or same corridors?
I don't know if it was the biggest set ever. I guess, yes, it's new corridors. It's just stupid. Why do that? Why spend that money? Just use the same corridor with different pipes 3 or 4 times, you know?
Carl, I know you're not a video game player, but there's one type where you just shoot things, and a lot of these games are just in the same kind of endless corridors. And sometimes it's a cool aesthetic, and other times it's just like tiresome.
Yeah, I can understand why that would be a problem.
I mean, it's an aesthetic. It used to be because of limitations. A game in 1980, for example, only had so much memory, so they would have to keep generating the same thing while you play.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes an aesthetic.
It's a loop.
Look at this. They keep jumping there. Oh, now finally something happened in this movie.
How can we only be in one corridor? They paid so much money for all those other corridors.
That's kind of scary, jumping through closing doors like that. I'm sure it's stagehands.
I had a bad dream about it.
You did?
Yeah, it was an elevator door. Look, you see Harvey Keitel's head?
He was a robot all along?
No.
He was a robot. Oh, the robot killed him. He smashed his face in.
It killed him. He chopped his hand off. And okay, so now they see that the robot, like Harvey Keitel, is way dead. Look who's coming. The eclipse is passing, and the ship is coming to make contact. Which doesn't make sense because it was a radio silence, right?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Do the other Power Rangers know that the red team left to go to Saturn?
They see him missing.
They're like, I see Blue Power Ranger. Where's Red?
The guy who wrote this screenplay is called Martin Amis. He got $30,000 for it. In 30,000 pounds.
Okay.
But another guy named Frederick Raphael wrote it too. But okay, check this out. In Martin Amis' subsequent novel, Money, the main character is based part on John Barry. Okay, the aging film star is based on Kirk Douglas. And the project that they attempt to complete is racked with disaster, just like this production. So
what's the name of this book? Yeah, what's the name of the book? I'm going to look it up.
It's called Money, and it's by Martin Amis. Martin
Amis. Carl, I read this book. Back when I was a kid who read books, I think I read this. I might not have read this one. 1984. Okay, I'll have to take a look. Wait a minute. Martin Amis did not write this screenplay, did he?
Yes, he wrote it, and also Frederick Raphael. And John Barry made up the story. Okay, now listen. He's woken up to find that he's a prisoner in his cabin, and that same implant that was in the back of Harvey Keitel's head, it's now in the back of Adam's head.
Oh, no. Wait, did the robot do that?
Yes.
Carl, don't you feel like that would be painful?
Yes. And you can't just wake up the next day. Well, actually, in credit to the director, he woke up and said, "Oh, my head." He did do that.
This robot is a pain in my neck. Speaking of which, there's a pain in my neck.
Now,
Oh,
I'm
it looks
not
like
a
the
fan
hole.
of this scene, and it's because she's wearing like a vest thing, you know?
Yeah.
So there will be no protruding chilliness in the room for our titillation. So
All right.
both Farrah Fawcett and Kirk Douglas are trying to say, "Hey, help! We're trapped!" But the robot is doing their voices, saying, "Sorry
Oh,
for the video malfunction."
the
Everything.
audacity of that evil robot to overdub their voices in this film. I can't. What a villain. Who wrote this screenplay, Harvey Keitel? Oh, look, I see. I know they're coming. I see them in the monitor, the Star Trek space monitor.
Look how that vehicle is really made for like flying through the air, right? With its sort of wing things and the tail. Although it's not, it's really three tails. But they're in space. They don't need that.
Well, it's always like the old movies where they had they were flying on planes, but the planes were just like trains.
Right.
You know,
right.
like W.C. Fields movie.
I missed that. Was there one in which he was in the future?
No, he was flying on a plane, but it was the plane itself was a train car, but it was flying in space. So they all had seats like a train does, and they had windows like a train does, but outside our clouds. So it was like travel, but the plane was actually a train. I wish the plane felt like a train.
I would like to see this film.
I have to find it. Okay. I forgot what it was. It's been a while.
I can Google W.C. Fields plane, right? I would probably come up with W.C. Fields.
All right. So are they? Look at that vest.
Rain.
So I remember having the Kenner toys of the Saturn 3. They must be toys, right? Saturn 3 must have been.
No, this was before. It was Star Wars that actually broke that.
And Star Wars was years before.
Well,
the toys must be a big hit in 1980.
Well, I mean, look, now he feels the back of her head to see if she's got one, and she doesn't.
Does she do the same? Oh, it's suddenly Kirk Douglas has a rat tail to cover up his hole. She doesn't feel it on his head? Here we go.
She doesn't. Nope.
But her hand was right there.
Well, she didn't feel it.
When are they going to vote for
her acting? Listen to her acting and tell me how great it is. Well, it's too late.
Feel it.
Is she? Oh! Whoa! You got the bumpity bump.
What, the bumpity bump?
All right, we didn't really get to her acting.
Well, no, that was fair enough.
Did you see how she was covering her mouth? That was pre-pandemic. Very foreshadowing. That's a lightsaber.
All right, I'm going to turn the sound off. All right, Carl, I'm looking at the first Golden Razzie Awards in 1980. It was Can't Stop the Music, Cruising, The Formula, Friday the 13th. Oh, see full length that. Hope this doesn't give me something. Jazz Singer was 1980. Nude Bomb was 1980. Race of Titanic was 1980. Saturn 3 was 1980. Windows. Xanadu was 1980s. That's one I remember. Coast to Coast, which is a German film. It looks like, at least from the poster. Dressed to Kill was 1980.
Now, Mike, I got to interrupt you. He's putting on explosives, so he's got a plot to save the day here. Okay, go ahead. So that's a stiff competition.
Yeah, like Flash Gordon. I'm just saying 1980 in general was like a string of weird movies that were released.
But you weren't reading the.
I'm reading some website, and at a certain point, it can't be all those movies. But you know.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Come on, let's listen. Come on.
I am.
Major. You will call me Major.
Ooh.
I'm in command here. You will do as I say. Both of you. Stay where you are.
You think the robot's going to put up with this insolence?
Oh, look at
You programmed your brain to be
Look at his
more-
cigarette.
Captain,
All right, I gotta turn this off.
that's
Why? You can't take it?
Oh,
So he's going to go to put it in the back of his neck a lot of times. See that? Wasn't that weird? Why would
Yeah.
he? Boy, he's going to go put it into the back of his neck, and then he's going to turn his head, and then he's going to turn his head, and then the robot's going to be like, "God damn it, stay still."
stay still. They haven't programmed it yet. That's I mean, Keitel just did it.
Oh, he turned his head.
So wait a minute, I don't understand. Like we watched Keitel had a different thing stuck in the back of his head. They're gonna just put a needle. No, he's turning around.
Yeah, just going to put a needle in there, and they'll interface. Hiya, chop.
Oh yeah. Boom.
Now look, he's got the explosive.
Oh, in the garbage. Oh, he's gonna kill himself.
Yeah.
Well, explosive.
Now see all the robot parts, but we don't see any of his parts.
I saw some red. It's like fish guts. You gotta look for Kirk guts. You gotta.
I don't see Kirk guts.
This looks like a great music video. What music is playing over there? Right? Like you can play any theme song.
Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick.
Guns N' Roses. It could be any.
But it's this weird like elbows on the organ.
Snoop Dogg.
All right. Well, this is great. I'm so glad we went to see this movie. Can you imagine like an hour and a half into this film? It's just like slow motion of explosion. Oh.
This guy named Elmer Bernstein wrote an
Sure.
hour of music for this movie, but it just didn't get used. It was progressive and experimental. They just used it in the opening sequences, and they just used it now. Okay, so he's dead. Robot.
Is this the music?
Yes.
Yeah, because the other one is definitely more experimentally loud. Okay, so the robot is dead. Kirk Douglas is dead. There's no sequel. With Saturn 4
where's
will not
Sarah?
have Kirk Douglas. Oh, 2001 Howard Johnson.
It does look like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Look, time has passed because she has a different hairstyle.
It's great hairstyle. Covers up the logo. That's a terrific hairstyle. Would you like some pills and water?
Drugs?
In
No,
the future, that's
thank you.
acceptable.
I just say no to drugs.
What future? This is from the cast and crew. Uh-oh.
Mother
That's
Earth.
awesome.
Mother Earth is coming up. Now, she's never been,
Oh, right. This is the first time seeing Earth.
but we won't get there with her. Our movie will end.
Oh, that's great news. I mean, it's so ambiguous.
Look how it looks like a space plane. Maybe because it goes into the atmosphere of Earth and it flies down.
It's like a space applicator. All right, we're going to go to Earth. Earth.
With the F.
Yeah.
Earth.
Earth.
Look how slow it's going. Come on, aren't we
Oh,
falling?
my God. What is this? Star Trek the motion picture from the year before?
It's so slow.
And see you later. Okay, the executive producer, 1980, ITC Entertainment.
This really sank that company. I mean, with this and Raise the Titanic both going over budget.
Yeah. Well, Race the
They
Titanic
didn't-
was definitely a stinker.
The director went home with some money.
Right. Well, you know, God bless. He's a good director, and he kept directing, and he tried his luck. Carl, what'd you think of this movie?
I thought it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch Farrah Fawcett. It was, I don't know, Harvey Keitel. It was neat how his voice was overdubbed. I don't know. That wasn't so great. I liked it. You know, the robot, you think he's dead. He's not dead. You think he's good. Then he's bad. I don't know.
There was like literally squeamish stuff, including the part where the eye thing goes up to her eye. I can't tell how they shot that, so it definitely felt really squeamish to me. And there's a dog dead if you're not into that. But the bottom line is just boring running space corridors. But I guess it's iconic, right? Like it's definitely an
Yeah.
aesthetic, the endless space corridor. So
Ridiculous.
yeah,
And it was unclear why he killed the captain and went to deliver the robot on his
I
own because he
know.
didn't have
I'm
any
so glad
master
you told me
command
that.
behind
I wasn't even realizing watching this film that it occurred, and his demeanor never really fluctuated to a homicidal. Like
No, he wasn't
yeah,
that kind of a but he was in the film. I don't know. It was weird how the eclipse affected the radio transmission, and yet when it was cleared, they had to actually fly a ship out there to say hello. That was bizarre. It didn't make sense what they were doing on the base. They were an experimental food center. What does it mean? What did they do? Why did they need such a large facility? What? How come they were the only two people there? They weren't even scientists. They did no science.
they didn't know science. And not only that, and I mean, I know we're beating this movie to death, but good. Why wouldn't they have robots there in the first place?
Well, they had two bullshit robots. This was a new experimental one that you could train by
Yeah.
uploading his brain into a real brain. It wasn't a computer. I don't know.
I know, and those weird brains was weird too. Well, that has been Saturn 3. Carl, thank you so much for researching and actually suffering through this film before we do it here as an audience. But sometimes bad movies are fun to watch when you have a crowd. So we appreciate you joining us here on Let Us Watch a Full Length Movie on YouTube. LWAFLMOYT is our YouTube channel. It's our audio podcast, and we are, of course, part of Mutiny Radio in San Francisco. Check their website out, mutinyradio.fm.
Donate.
Listen live, donate, see the live shows they have Monday and Fridays, perform as well, stand-up comedy. Carl, next week's movie will happen next week, so we hope to hear from you. Hope to join us.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up. So listen to us on mutinyradio.fm next Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or just subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.
Let's watch full-length movie on YouTube with Michael Spiegelman.